Hello dear friends. Humor is the greatest blessing and the most powerful weapon of the warrior of light against dark forces, says Sierra. Opinion piece: Implosion. Shockwave. Social unrest. Wealth transfer. Inward rupture. Turbulent times. Chaotic protests. Spiritual collapse. Waiting for the signal. Economic chess match. Suffering is temporary. Everything is changing. A quantum era has begun. Rebirth will be permanent. Pain before the breakthrough. Let's start. The old world is dying before our eyes, according to Ethan White, the case teller. Banks are collapsing one after another. Corporate layoffs are spreading like wildfire, and entire industries are imploding under their own weight. We are in the execution phase of a grand plan that has been years in the making, a precision strike to collapse the old financial network and replace it with a system that serves people instead of enslaving them. An implosion is a rambling inward rupture of the walls of a cavity whose pressure is lower than the external pressure. It is the opposite of an explosion, which occurs when the internal pressure is pushed outward. Something massive is happening behind headlines like government shutdown, market instability, and global recession. The quiet launch of the Global Economic Security and Reform Act called GSRA. The same system that enslaved humanity is being replaced by an alterable, hacked or hijacked quantum structure. This is not a collapse. It's a controlled demolition of the old order. A deliberate collapse designed to pave the way for the quantum financial system already in operation. The stock market is crashing because it's running out of liquidity. The Fed is cornered. Central banks are trapped. They can no longer print or hide the truth. Nations around the world are quietly migrating to gold-backed reserves. Behind the scenes, quantum engineers and treasury tax forces are finalizing the transition to an asset-backed currency. Protests. Meanwhile, the social unrest seen in major cities is no coincidence. From organized protest to coordinated vandalism at Tesla facilities and tech hubs. It's an orchestrated operation. Before GSRA goes public, the same networks that once ran war programs and interference campaigns are being used to sow chaos. They know that once the system collapses, their wealth, their power, and their very identity will be over. They want martial law before people realize what's happening. They want confusion while their offshore accounts and secret trading systems are seized, disconnected from the quantum network. Once the final immigration begins, trillions of recovered assets will begin to flow directly into public accounts. Through this system, small businesses, veteran farmers, and families devastated by decades of debt will receive credit and direct financing. The wealth accumulated by the elite thus becomes the seed of humanity's rebirth. This is an infrastructure already online, waiting for the signal. Prepare for chaos in the coming weeks. The globalist machine is cornered and is attacking with violence. Tech companies are laying off tens of thousands of people as artificial intelligence systems replace human jobs. Large corporations are collapsing because their lines of credit have been cut off. But nothing can stop what is already underway. The communications network has been secured. Starlink protects QFS nodes from cyber attacks. Treasury operations are conducted through quantum channels that are impossible to hack or intercept. Every time they attempt to sabotage a data center or manipulate a foreign currency, they further expose their networks to the courts. The collapse is not only financial, but also spiritual. People are beginning to understand. The collapse they fear is actually a liberation. The old system is being raised so that it cannot rise again. Purification. Layoffs, inflation, bankruptcies. These are not random tragedies. They are the price of purification. The system must fall for humanity to rise. Every job lost, every business closed, every market crash is a crashing button that eliminates decades of corruption and debt slavery. The suffering is temporary. The rebirth will be permanent. The full rollout of Gisera will eliminate illegitimate debt, end income tax, release suppressed healing technologies, restore constitutional law, and implement quantum voting systems that no actor will be able to manipulate. Every nation that joins will regain its sovereignty. All citizens will finally live free from invisible chains. If social unrest intensifies, globalist think tanks are drawing up emergency plans to replace the government with a transitional council. They hope the chaos will justify suspending the administration. But that plan is doomed to fail. The coalition has neutralized key pockets of resistance and, if necessary, is ready to expose the crimes that will destroy what remains of the old regime. Everything is changing. The QSFS throbs beneath the surface. Gold is quietly rising, and empires are quietly crumbling. The world as you knew it is being erased. The world as you knew it is being erased. A precision financial, digital, and spiritual strike is in the final phase of the plan to free humanity from a system that was never meant to survive. When the truth is fully revealed, the world will split in two. Those who see the old order will die of fear, and those who rise up with faith, sovereignty, and power will survive. The great transfer has begun. The countdown is over, and the quantum age has begun. Opinions. A useless Pentagon AI commander is destroying Ukraine according to Shockwave. War is one of the few things that only the state can do. Indeed, as Randolph Bourne said, war is the health of the state. We know what time has accelerated greatly, and that the frequency and energy coming in are too much for everyone. You may feel like you don't have time, that you are overstimulated or more stressed than usual. The universe does not speak with complexity or chaos, but with simplicity, presence, and stillness. It was never meant to sound clear or coded. It was meant to be felt. When you stop searching for the screaming voice, you finally hear the one that has whispered inside you all along. Economy. Cheap physical silver remains a unique opportunity. Gold and silver see their worst one-day drop in years, but the long-term uptrend remains strong, according to experts. Christine Lagarde panics. Will gold surpass the Fed note once it hits $5,790? Poland exempt parents with 2 or more children from income tax, a necessary blow to the European demographic crisis. Every traffic ticket issued today is not simply a civil or criminal citation, but the creation of a financial instrument traded through stock markets. Turning point. After a period in which wage hiring and political jitters kept economists on edge, Anna Wong predicts a recovery. Peter Schiff highlights a historic bull run in gold and silver, warning of a dollar crisis and urging investors to capitalize on the growth of precious metals and amid changing economic dynamics. China is quietly accumulating gold, with no transparency about its reserves. Judy Shelton suggests that a transition to a gold-backed system could reduce central bank power, strengthening nations and individuals economically. Markets balance optimism and caution as global risks shift. From strong dollars to shaking banks, today's markets show how power and confidence move through money. Dabo 77 links digital and logistic disruptions with concerns about the stability of physical commodities. They assert that spikes in silver demand and reported shortages reflect systemic stress, linking the fragility of financial markets to the collapse of infrastructure. The monetary reset is no longer a tinfoil fantasy. The Pentagon is stockpiling $1 billion in critical minerals amid growing global pressures over commodities. Countries are seeking to control resources like cobalt and silver, impacting markets and inflation expectations. The value of gold will surpass the Fed note. The X22 report sets a target of $5,790. I repeat the $5,790 for gold, and if that price is reached, it could signal a profound shift in global financial power. On the one hand, there is the possibility of a fundamental shift in global monetary power, with gold challenging this historic supremacy of the dollar. On the other, there is an ongoing struggle for control. For Dave Mahoney, building wealth isn't just about accumulating wealth, but about creating lasting legacy. He highlights the importance of generating multiple sources of income through consistent, principled effort, as opposed to seeking fleeting shortcuts. These tips are intertwined with biblical teachings and prophecies, suggesting that the current turbulent times may correspond to a broader historical cycle. The global economy is undergoing a radical transformation, driven not only by market forces, but also by intense geopolitical struggle, according to Sinfu. We are witnessing a high-stakes economic chess game, where every move generates repercussions that often harm allies and unintentionally strengthen rivals. These tensions are not merely political. They are altering global trade flows, energy pipelines, and economic alliances for the next generation. Understanding this complex interdependence is crucial to weathering the volatile years ahead. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.